Hello, my name is Renata von Tscharner. I'm the founder and president of the Charles River Conservancy, and today we are talking about a project that I've been working on for 15 years and that I love and has also given me a lot of gray hair, and that's the skate park. And with us today we have Kanten Russell. Welcome.
Thank you.
Kanten Russell is the lead designer of Action Sport Design, which is now part of Stantec. So he has been very much involved in designing what we now see under construction in East Cambridge, under the Zaken Bridge ramp in North Point Park. So we're going to give you an overview to kind of give you a bit of a picture of what's happening out there. The best thing is to go and see it in action from the North Bank Bridge, to see that skate park actually being built. We've talked a long time about it, but now it's happening. So we're going to look at some images of that skate park, and just to give you the context of it, as people wonder why the Charles River Conservancy is building a skate park. Our mission is to make the parklands more active, attractive, and accessible. And as you will see, this is a site under the freeway, noisy, lot of diesel trucks, Boston sand and gravel, transportation. And so this is a perfect site for a skate park. So Kanten, give us a sense of how you got involved, and when you started that project, what did you see as the big challenges and opportunities for that park?
Well, first of all, it's an opportunity to create something that the state of Massachusetts and Boston in itself doesn't really have. There's no regional park of this size, which is, around 35,000 square feet or so. To be able to have that much space to accommodate that many users, to have all the different features of different bowls, different depths, sizes, some of the street plaza elements that kind of recreate that urban landscape that you see in Boston. It's really going to be something for everybody, all skill levels, all ages, that is just not found anywhere near here. And it's really going to help cultivate a good, healthy recreational opportunity for people who like to ride skateboards. And the challenges of building on a site that has soils, contamination issues, some of the drainage things we had to do to make the site work, having it underneath a bridge, all creates a very unique, challenging, but very rewarding and unique landscape for the skate park.
Yeah, and I have some pictures of you here. You are not only a skate park designer, but a skateboarder yourself.
Right, yeah, I was a pro skateboarder for over 12 years and got to travel around the world and skate a lot of different areas. So some of these pictures you're seeing are of skate parks we've designed, and there's me testing them all out. And it's a nice opportunity for me to have the ability to relate to the skateboarders of the communities we work with, and they know that I know exactly what kind of terrain they want and how to ride it, so it helps with the design process.
Yeah, and we will see some of the meetings, the public meetings.
Mm-hmm.
So just to put it in context, the viewers of this program have often seen this map. So the skate park we're talking about is actually in this area here, in the very eastern part of Cambridge, where there's a whole new city, North Point, being developed. And to give the context of the Conservancy, we see the river, the skate park is up here. The Conservancy also works on swimming, has a volunteer program on creating underpasses, Sunday games, working on the Olston Esplanade. So that is kind of the context of making the parklands more active, attractive, and accessible. So let's go to the skate park area. We're looking at the park area down here. We see the Zaken Bridge, the Museum of Science, and the skate park area is right here under the ramp of the Zaken Bridge. We're coming from a different angle. We always have to twist our mind. We are looking at the area right here, and here the map again with the Museum of Science to the left, the skate park here, the new EF building, the wonderful lagoons. So we have a great site here. And just to kind of skip through history of how the skate park really was in the water in 1830. Even in the 19th century with North Station and all the trains going out, it was still in the water. Then in the 20th century, it was an industrial site with many factories there, a toxic site, as you can imagine, all the things that were left behind from various industries. And then recently, when the Zaken Bridge was already built, that's the site when we started planning of how the site looked like. It was still full of debris from the big dig. And it was a MDC maintenance yard. The dock tours were still going in here. Now the dock tours go in around the site. And now the site was cleared. That is where the new EF building is. And this is now the site underneath the beautiful bridges of the Zaken Bridge. This is the view down from the new North Bank Bridge. This is actually the best place to view the skate park being here. And
it's a good opportunity for events and spectators as well.
Yes, the bridge will be a wonderful.
Yes, it's a great addition.
A wonderful site. This bridge will be a great place, and we will see that in the event map when we have events that when the skate park is open, that also the other part of the park can be incorporated into that. Absolutely. The EF1 building, great architecture. It's really very majestic, and there already have been some tree plantings to the new MDC maintenance yard, the DCR, and of course 500,000 people on dock tours go by, and to the right is the commuter rail and the Boston Sand and Gravel. It has 4 T-stops that will be within walking distance: Leechmere, Science Park, North Station, and Community College. All will be able to reach. So in 2004, the Boston Globe had an editorial called An Extreme Vision. And so it goes that far back. And I want you, Kanten, now to speak a little bit about the skaters' involvement. Here we see Tony Hawks, who gave us our first grant of $5,000 so we could get started. And here you are in the design process. Explain to us what happened in those sessions.
Yeah, there's a picture of me working with Anthony Shetler, closest to me in that picture on the right, and then farthest on the left side there is Annie McDonald, and both pro skateboarders, actually natives to the New England area. Annie McDonald, just a world-renowned skateboarder, all-terrain, knows his stuff, and has a real heart for making sure this is seen all the way through, and they were able to donate their time to come out and help us with some of the public facilitation and input on the design.
Yeah, and they came to the public meeting too.
Yes.
That we had here. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the, I think we had 5 public meetings, and it was a total of 400 people that gave input in terms of design, of how the balls should be shaped, of how the streetscape elements should be done. So that was the whole public input funded by the Boston Foundation. And then in terms of funding, we got a challenge grant from the Lynch Foundation. We have Peter and Caroline Lynch, we have Mayor Menino, and we have Timothy Toomey, who was both a Cambridge City Councillor and a state rep, and at the time Mayor Reeves from Cambridge. We also got funding from the Barr Foundation, and then later on from Vans. A lot of donors have made that possible. So let's look a little bit at the engineering. We don't see much here, but I have this picture in because there are so many easements. We even had to do our own title search, and we were fortunate to have the pro bono help of Wilmer Hale, a law firm, and their lawyer Bob Fitzpatrick has helped us through the process of all the permitting, all the legal documents, which have been absolutely extraordinary. But Kanten, I'd like you to speak a little bit here more about the challenges of how to design a skate park with all the limitations of that site.
Well, as you can see here, looking at the plan view, you can kind of see areas where the Department of Transportation still has to maintain accessible areas to look at the bridge columns. We could not build up or around the bridge columns. We had to keep enough clearance away from them for a truck to still drive into the skate park so they could maintain and inspect these areas. And like you mentioned on that previous slide, you could see a lot of line work and utilities and easements that we had to work around, which actually dictated the shape what you see at the skate park. And a lot of projects we work on are dictated by the constraints of the site, the easements, and that's what makes the skate park so unique every time, is that it creates a different kind of a shape, different elevations, and based off the constraints we work with, that's what helps dictate what we can and can't do, the depths of the bowls, the materials we can use, and also we want to make sure that it looks like it belongs there.
Yeah.
So since it's here in Boston, we wanted to use materials and colors and shapes that really speak to the
and we have pictures of that, so we'll get to that.
We're going to get into that. Yeah.
And another very important part is all the borings. We had to do so many borings so that we would know what's in the soil, because the soil is heavily contaminated, so we could really map all the problems. And then we, since the Conservancy had to assume all the liability, we had to take out insurance for anything that we might not know. But this was a very happy moment when the boring started.
Yes.
You were all on the site here.
Yeah, you can see on the left there, Anthony Shetler, then Andy McDonald, and yourself is in the middle, the kind of mama bear of the project. And then next to you on the right side, we have Mike McIntyre, who is actually leading the project from our end as a design team, and then myself there as one of the other lead designers.
Yeah.
And that was a very good moment where people really understood that things were actually happening.
Yeah. And just another detail of the soil management, what soil do we move first, how to create the right kind of coverage. And this is a landscape drawing which shows that the toxic soil will either be covered by concrete or by 3 feet of clean soil. So that was a big challenge to accomplish that.
Yeah, some of the things that people don't think about is the planning and the layout. And looking here, you kind of look at the how much in the purple there on the right hand side is dedicated more for transition and flow on the higher elevations of the site, and on the lower elevations near the entryway we wanted a more of a natural street urban plaza feel as a nice entry point into the skate park. So a lot of the planning and engineering goes into the site before we even worry about what kind of skate features we're putting in there. A lot goes into the process. And then you can see there some of the engineering for the drainage, the detention areas, the infiltration chambers that have to go below ground so that the water has some place to go and doesn't cause any heaving in the concrete. And what we're seeing here is making sure that we have the engineering infrastructure for the skate park to make sure it's there for a long time without any problems.
And yesterday I saw Jennifer Wright of the Cambridge Conservation Commission. She went to inspect all the drainage and the swales that are going to be built. So she reported that she was very happy because the substructure is so important to accomplish that. In the end, this is what will be there.
Yeah, that's the eye candy picture where after all that work, this is exactly the end result, the culmination of everyone's hard work, all the planning. And you can see there that there's a lot of things going on there. And that's what that's what the hard work is for, to see the final product.
And you mentioned the historic or the Boston parts. So this element from the Boston Hospital will be incorporated into the skate park.
Yes.
As you see here, and then the brick.
Yeah, some of the materials and the colors that you can see from iconic skate spots like that from the old hospital spot. We really wanted to embrace the heritage of Boston skateboarding. So we wanted to make sure we included some of those features and the colors and the textures just to make people feel at home, and they know when they see pictures of this place that this is the skate park in Boston. There's no doubt of where you are based off what you're seeing.
And there's a very important person, I call it the grandmother of the skate park, Nancy Schoen, and she did the sculpture, the tortoise and the hare, and because the skaters jumped over that, she became very active with the skate park. She raised a lot of money and a lot of goodwill, and because she said the skaters just don't have a place to go.
Right.
And so there's going to be a tortoise and hare in the skate park embedded, and the skaters will be allowed to ride over them.
Right.
So here are some, we will just have to move a little bit faster here. We are getting behind time. So just some of the features here, maybe you want to just comment as I run through these images.
Yeah, you're seeing some of the bowls in the upper elevation area, some of the bowls there. That view is of the deeper, what we're calling pro bowl. And so we have a bowl that's 12 feet deep for pro skateboarding events that we can have here. You're seeing some checkerboard patterned paving to recognize the donations that Vans was able to make this project happen also. And so we have really opportunities here to capture what the kids want to ride as far as some of the street elements there, some of the grinding railings, ledges. This is stuff you'd see in any kind of downtown area, including Boston. We're just emulating something that is a place where they can legally ride and not get hassled by jumping over the tortoise and the hare downtown Boston. So, you're seeing some of these things that you might see in any streetscape, any downtown, anywhere. And but with all the edging and materials that will be bulletproof and durable for skateboarding for many years to come. So we want it to look natural and authentic, but we want it to be durable.
Yeah. And this is the bridge that goes right by the skate park. The skate park would be right to the right here. And as you mentioned before, this will be part of celebrations at the skate park. Just to orient yourself, this is the new EF building on the Charles, and the skate park is right here. And this is the bridge that goes over the Millers River, where the dock tours go in, and lands under the Zaken Bridge. And when there are events at the skate park, this bridge will play an important role, as will Revere Park. There will be can be concerts there, there can be events, and the park, Revere Park, is a beautiful new park under the Zaken Bridge, with beautiful light from Ross Miller. That is the bridge. The Zaken Bridge is as beautiful from underneath as it is from above. So we're now moving to the groundbreaking, which was in October, and we have here our Congressman Capuano, who spoke. It was a wild day, an northeastern storm, but the sun came out for us to show our shovels.
That's right. There's some of the people there.
Steve Van Doren from Vans, and our elected officials.
Right, you got a representative there, Joe Ciaglia from California Skate Parks to the left of you.
Yeah.
And, one of the specialty skate park contractors. And, obviously Valley Crest, the general contractor working on the project. You got Mike McIntyre, part of our design team. And on the right-hand side, you have Tony Alva and Christian Hasoya, pro skateboarders who ride for Vans, who are there.
Yeah.
To have these legendary people, you can feel a sense history is being made that day, and it was the start of something great. Yeah,
it sure is. And construction started as soon as the snow was over with, as you mentioned, Valley Crest, the general contractor, California Skate Park, and the Conservancy's project manager is Doug Russell. The project coordinator is Teresa Doherty. S.J. Port is the director of communication, and construction is on the way. So maybe we just want to run through that. That's kind of the first machines on the ground.
Yeah, this is where they're starting to move earth around. They had to clear a lot of the earth away and dig out a lot of that contaminated soil.
And you see the red fabric in there, which separates the dirty dirt with the clean fill.
Right.
So a clear separation between the two.
Yeah, and so they had to really prep the site and get that clean fill in there and the base rock in there to really set and make sure it's compacted and ready to excavate and shape all the skate features. We need to make sure that the soil is compacted very hard so that it's not going anywhere when we start, forming up all the skate features, and that when we dig all the areas for the bowls and other features, that it's not going anywhere. So you can see it all staked out there. Some of the rough general layout. There's a good snapshot of the area all compacted and prepped up and ready to go, with some of the drains sticking up in the air where the drainage is going to be, and some of the staking there for that. There's some excavation there for some areas where we need to move the dirt around. So what you're seeing here is a lot of the beginning portions of the things you don't see in the skate park. Everything that happens below the surface to make it all happen.
a lot of the drainage issues.
Yes, a lot of issues here are addressed through all the things you're seeing here during construction, and there's some of that
Red fabric.
same fabric you're talking about
Yeah.
to separate the clean and the dirty soils to make sure it's all set and ready to go. So there you go. There's the first shots of the site being separated there, the upper deck toward the back of the slide here.
That's where they will dig out the bowls. The
Yep.
bowls have now been dug out.
Yep, and the pro bowl's already been dug out over here. So if
Yeah.
you go by the site, you can see it all formed up and almost ready to go.
Yeah.
And concrete will be pouring in a couple of weeks here. So if you come by there, you can really see all the progress starting to take shape, and it actually starts to look like a real skate park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for the kids to stay out of the candy store, but please make sure that everybody in Boston, don't get in there before it's ready to go, because we really need time for the concrete to cure and everything to be finally completed before people start trying to get in there early. It's really helpful if people do that. So you can see some nice overview shots here of the site. Again, them moving all the machinery around to get all the rough excavation done and the shaping done. And you can see some of the filtration systems being put in there for the drainage.
Yeah, and I think we also have, we don't see the faces, we have Carl Hagland there, who's the project manager for the DCR, the Department of Conservation and Recreation, will be the manager of that skate park. They will be the owner and they will manage it, and he has been involved in overseeing the construction. And Sam Overton will be in charge of operation. So it has been a partnership with the Department of Conservation and Recreation to also help them understand. And I think you had a meeting with them explaining of how other skate parks are operated, and to create a friends group with Orchard so that this will be a smooth transition into having that skate park
operated. Yes, this is very much a community effort and a community process, and it doesn't stop when the park is done. It's going to continue for many years to come, people partnering and supporting the skate park and being involved, helping out with the volunteers, and making sure this park is safe and maintained and taken care of and respected. And you're just seeing more shots here of the site being prepped and ready for the drainage systems, and some of the excavation there still.
Yeah.
Some of the work. And again, just, you can see there in the pictures, like she said, some of the contractors from Valley Crest and California Skate Parks and the project managers all involved there.
And I want to just add a wonderful anecdote. A major funder, Paul Fremont Smith, he's also involved in this organization called YES, Youth Empowerment Service. So he says, how can I get skateboards to kids who wouldn't have skateboards otherwise? How can they earn a skateboard? So he funds the Conservancy to employ these kids to do landscaping work along the Charles River. So these kids from YES will be doing landscaping work and earning a skateboard so they can go and skate. So all kind of interesting things are happening around this skate park, and this is really, as you say, it's a whole community effort, and a wonderful part of that effort to make that a place of a community. Somebody once said a skate park is a community center without a roof.
I agree. Yeah, and you're going to see a lot of things developing, just a real positive place of activity for entire families.
Yeah.
And, finally a place for these kids to go legally ride. And again, you can see some more form work of some of the features starting to take shape and being formed up. And again, we encourage you to definitely look all you want to from the outside bridge areas and enjoy the view of the progress.
But not go into the site.
Yes.
So this is your contact information.
Yeah.
And in case people have questions. And I want to thank you for coming. You're normally in San Diego.
That's right.
But it has been a wonderful partnership with Action Sport Design and Stantec. And you've really brought the expertise, and the fact that you're working with Stantec brought the engineering and the insurance. It all came together. So
it was
wonderful.
Us becoming a part of Stantec really helped us to bring this project home. I know it's been a long time coming. A lot of people who live here, still wondering, hey, when is this going to happen? And I think finally people can see it is happening.
Yeah.
And the partnership, like you mentioned, doesn't stop here. I mean, we'll be involved long after this is done. We always revisit our projects and help, with anything we can to make sure that this is a success for many years to come.
Yeah. So in case you want to find out more about the skate park, you can go to our website. We have pictures up there all the time. Of every week we update the construction pictures, and so that you can find out what's happening. And this show will be up on YouTube, and it's wonderful that we can bring the expert here. And
Oh, it's my pleasure.
I hope you'll be here for the ribbon cutting, which we hope will be later this year. And thank you for coming to speak with us today. And we will see you at the ribbon cutting in later this year.
Yep, I'll be there.